think we're starting recording. Here we go.
Great.
Yes. So I have let everybody know that they're being recorded and everybody has agreed. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a transcript. Let me turn that off. All right. Welcome again. Thank you for all the introductions. The one note I wanted to add to tonight's meeting is I will not be sharing notes in the future. Annette and I discussed this, and we are going to call the annual meeting on the 10th of May every year just a gathering where people that love what Hildegard has done with her life, with her work, with her holistic views on, I think, almost every aspect that touches our lives, including music. And we will not be making it official online. We are looking for someone else next year to take over the presentation and share their work and their passion, what made them so fall in love with Hildegard and with her visions. So please do get in touch with me either through WhatsApp or email me. My email address should be in that email as well. So as a half American, half Dutch person, this is for me was the third, I think, Hildegard Week that I have attended since 2012. There have been more, but this was definitely a lot of fun.
Jone, we called it, we just called it International Conference, the first two you were at, and only you were at all the International Hildegard Weeks, which were two of them.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you,
in
Annette.
22. Before it was International Conferences, we didn't call it Hildegard Week.
You're correct. Yeah. You're so right. I knew this. Yes, totally.
That's
We had the international conferences in 2012, 2014, and then you 16. Had two more. Yeah.
And 16, yeah.
2016, and then we missed out until last year.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'm just leaving from Holland, and I'm trying to figure out, can I use my, yes, can I? No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. This is going to be really slow if I have to do it this way. So we're going to start with the first night on Thursday evening, September 12th, and this is where you will arrive at the Hildegard Forum. Annette was waiting for everyone. These are some of the tables that you will be running into, and this is the schedule. And now I'm getting stuck with my slide presentation. Go away. It won't let me do the next one. There we go. And here's our first group photo, including Ashlyn. Michael and Heather are sitting at the head of the table. Susan's to your left. And we are getting ready for the movie evening. Michael is getting all the audio ready here in the room. And this is a view of what it looked like. I've merged two pictures. You're not seeing double, so don't worry about that. We had a wonderful hour and a half. It was the first time I saw the movie. I thought it was quite fun. Annette features in it as Hildegard von Bingen, and her niece is in there too. And then we had a lovely meal. And then we go on to the next part of the program, which was a pilgrimage hike. So I've highlighted the program to your left, which I don't know if you can read it. And we used segments for every single part of the day. We went to Sponheim Castle and Sponheim Minster. Minster is a word that's not used in English much. It's actually a monastery church that's no longer being used. I had to look it up online. And Elizabeth.
Okay, that was a word by Nigel. I didn't know that. It was old-fashioned.
Yeah,
I assumed it.
It's probably very
my friend
English.
Nigel, British, yes.
It's British. Yeah.
It's probably very British is what I'm thinking. So here you have Anya and Elizabeth, our guides, and I ended up befriending Heidi, and we walked up to the Sponheimburg Castle. We were able to have an explanation outside near the tableau where Jutta von Sponheim is featured and her family. Her family comes from, her last name comes from the German word Spon, which is from the German word Span, which means a splinter, as you know, since you speak German. And so her family were knights that went off to the Crusades and probably owned a splinter, is what the legends are telling us. So we went into the Berg to see what it looks like from top, and I decided to take a very abstract picture to have people with heights to understand what it's like. Heidi and I had some gorgeous view up on the top, and then we had to head back down, and you are just looking all the way down there. Anja explained to us that the Burg is made out of stone, so the castle itself, the tower, is made out of stone, but the house behind it was probably made out of wood, and this is the view where the tableau is with the music from Ute that I wanted to play for you, which I read in Annette's book says is Virga ac diadema, Virgins and Crowns, is her favorite song. Is that correct, Annette?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it.
Virga is a branch and crown, and it is the symbolism of Mary.
Let me see if I can get it. Can you hear it? Or do I need to get here? Let me get it on my phone. It's certainly one of my favorites. So then we climbed down the hill and we went on our way to Sponheim. I have included some wonderful German scenery along the way for you to enjoy. And I will upload this presentation if you guys want to look at it afterwards. This is on the way to the Minster, to the Sponheim Minster. I always think it's interesting, Annette, I don't know, did they do this on purpose? There's 3 steps every single time. On the left-hand side, you walk up 3 steps, it's straight.
That is an old path which already was there, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is probably 50 years old, I don't know. It was there before we installed the Hildegard Way.
Of course. And do you want to say a few words about the significance of 3, or Susan, do you want to take a shout at it?
All good things are 3. That's an old saying in German. And fairy tales always have 3, and we have the Holy Trinity, so it needs to. 3 is always a good number.
It is. It's one of my favorite numbers. Besides 5, I like 5 too. I'll just give you a short overview of some of the things that I saw that I thought were beautiful. When you come into the church, you can find the books and the Scivias folder are immediately to the left. And we were with Michael's American group, and I'm sure Michael took better pictures than I did, but this is just what the church looks like a little bit. If my camera will let me do this, please. And then we were fortunate enough to have with us Henry. I've forgotten Henry's last name. The husband of Danae.
Yeah.
And so I have a recording of his interpretation. I attended his workshop, which will be later in the slideshow. He is I think he's a baritone, but anyhow, so he has a different interpretation according to the Wiesen Codex, if I say that correctly. It's in my notes later on, as to how Hildegard was being sung at the time. And I think Ute is actually closer to it than the old CD in America that made her famous. So here's Henry's version. It was lovely. I think he got big applause at the end of it. And then we move on to our first evening event. After the wonderful outing, we took the bus back. No, excuse me, the first morning event. So that was our evening. We started the morning with cutting tickets last minute at Annette's house, which was great fun, and took those with us. If you look very carefully on this picture, this is the entranceway to the house des Gastes, where the main workshops were being held. And you can see Volkart sitting way in the background if you look carefully. And I thought I took a very nice picture of Annette welcoming everybody.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes, I like this one. This is what it looked like at the tables where we were receiving people registering or that already had registered. And this was the first reception hallway. On the left, you see art that was made by Lucy de Souza. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correct, Annette.
Lucy Souza, yeah, it's Portuguese. Souza.
Who
She's Indian,
created,
has a Portuguese name.
Yeah, she created some wonderful pieces that were up on the wall there. So I just took a short impression of the room and the schedule of what we were doing. And then we started the opening ceremony with Annette holding a short speech and introducing Bettina Dickes. Do you want to speak to her, Annette, a little bit more? Her important role in helping the Hildegard.
Bettina and me, and Bettina is the Landrätin, like the mayor of the district or something. And she and me, we initiated the Hildegard of Bingen pilgrimage route. The two of us are the initiators. And we're still working together, by the way. We over the last months, we did 2 long walks because there shall be a new kind of Kreuzach Hildegard way, which we'll kind of open at the next Hildegard week, which will have, so Bettina and I, she's Christian Democrat, I was for the Green Party, but we had a Green conservative project here together.
Wonderful.
Politically speaking, and I was 10 years in the county district parliament as elected members, and that's also how we got the Hildegard way done, because otherwise without politics we couldn't have realized that, I'm pretty sure, as a European project.
You got European funding for it too, which was wonderful.
We got funding by the European Union. It was 140,000 euro project, and we got that funded via politics. Yeah.
Great. And then
you a nice picture of us. Actually, I'd like to, Joan, I'd like to have some of your pictures here. Really nice.
You can have them. Yeah. I can either share them with you, or I can upload
some on the website, really.
To team. Yeah, the thing is, I looked at this. It's over a gig in everything that I've got in this presentation. So it's big for the website. I don't know if the website, maybe in PDF, we'll have to figure out if we can do this somehow. So here's Annette speaking with Lucy. Here's Annette speaking. Was he the mayor of? Yeah, I don't know if you can see.
No, he's Dr. Vesper. He's of the house. He's leading the house and the tourism and health section in Bad Kreuznach, and he gave us a lecture on the cure and health tradition and Hildegard healing art, which is interesting because Kreuznach is a spa town, and to connect the spa and the Kurbad with Hildegard now is a real important thing.
Yeah, those big things that are growing outside. I actually went by there. And then we had a lovely buffet at the end of the evening. I took one more shot of my way home, which is a very famous bridge with 2 houses over the Nahe River in Bad Kreuznach. And then we go on to the location where I'm actually receiving my training when I do visit Bad Kreuznach, which is right on the other side of that bridge. Then we have the next day, which were my very first workshops. It was very interesting. I think Michael and Heather, you're acquainted now with Dr. Shannon Steringer as well, right?
Yep. We walked the trail with her in 2019. And we have She has her own Hildegard community in
Fairport Harbor.
in Ohio.
Fairport.
That's what it was. Yeah, exactly. And I hope she will be able to get another group together, and maybe everybody gets to reunite in 2026. That would be really nice. So I have our little group of Indians that we started. Silke and I were also volunteers, so we did some of the just regular practical stuff behind the scenes, together with Heidi again. So we helped serve wine and stuff like that. So you will see us kind of pop out every once in a while. This is Shannon's workshop on herbal stuff from Hildegard. I'm afraid I cannot speak at the level of...
I think Hildegard of Bingen as medieval herbalist. It's called.
Yes.
It was called.
Yes,
The
exactly.
medieval herbalist. Yes. Yeah.
Medieval herbalist, yeah. And it was a wonderful workshop is what I was remembering. She had a lot of enthusiasm, but I thought this was the funniest picture.
Oh my God.
With the difference in height between the two of you.
Yes. Yeah,
It was like so
Yeah.
funny. I was just like, and then I got the three musketeers together because I also found Dana A, who's going to be hosting the next workshop that you will see. Then I also had this picture, but I cannot remember who this woman was.
There was a surprise group from Taiwan visiting us. They all speak Chinese, and they were there at the monastery, at the abbey, and they found out about the Hildegard week, and then they joined us for a whole day and a whole night. And one of them, called Professor Gabi Wang, she's teaching German in Taiwan. She speaks perfect German. She just came back last month and gave us a Chinese translation of the Liber Scivias. But that's not her. She's another. They were all professors and doctors from this. And I didn't know they didn't speak English so well, all of them, but they joined the workshop. And I think they want to come back also for the next Hildegard week.
When I was watching them, so here's our buffet. This is what our typical buffet looked like during the week. We had very healthy food that was especially made next door at the Fürstenhof, which was easy. It's like a 2-minute walk, was wonderful, very good food. And it's nice because it gives you a chance to connect with some of the other people that are attending the workshops. So it was fun that we got to sit together as well. Then this is Danae's workshop. She did psychology and Hildegard. It was a very, very interesting workshop. I still have the physical piece of paper that she gave me. I still need to work my way through it, if I'm honest. But her lecture was definitely one of the more popular ones. And as you see, I'm sitting right behind the people from Taiwan. What they were using, Annette, is they had Google Translate on, and it was translating it, I think, into their language as Dana A was speaking, into Chinese as she was attending it. So, and then again, at the end, we have our two professors together. Then we have the lovely evening where Michael became very active, and I have a couple of shots of Michael in action. Ute honored us with an open air. We were so fortunate, no rain, wonderful temperatures, a little bit on the cold side, but no rain on the DZ Bodenberg, which is like, Hildegard lived there for 30 years. It's just 40 years, amazing place. Yeah. So I am taking Michael here and showing this was their mode of transportation with the whole group. We didn't get to go there because we had to get there by ourselves, but we drove with Shannon to get there. And then here is Bernd Fritz, who is one of the other active hosts that helped to get everything done. I have Susan with Professor
Gabi Wang. Yes, okay. This project, Gabi Wang. She speaks to Chinese German professor.
So we were in the car, the three of us, and we had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Didn't we, Susan?
Yeah.
And her German was excellent, by the way.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the bus. I want to go back to the bus for a sec. We we had a big bus, and the whole bus was full because we took Shannon's group with us in the bus.
Was that the reason why we ended up going by car? I couldn't remember. I was like, I
Yeah.
knew you had like, because I have bus
Shannon
pictures.
was in the bus with us.
Oh, you got lucky. Okay, I have bus pictures later on down of what it looks like. Of course, I had to take the tableau on the way up. Here's a Hildegarten instead of a Hildegarden. It's a Hildegarten.
We call it now Hildegarden, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they plant there, but it looks a little bit like it, yeah.
Lavender and rosemary, and it's the one on the left there when you're walking up the mountain. So I just have some action shots of what it looks like when you're DC Bodenberg is about 200 meters high, and you just have to walk up. And along the way, there's some wonderful, thoughtful German and English the sayings and psalm readings or other Bible quotations, and then Hildegard's take on it that you can meditate on as you're walking up. I thought this cross box was so cute from back in the day.
It is for putting in money, which doesn't occur anymore.
Yeah.
It's a money box. It was done by the youth who I was working with. You know, they had a blacksmith there to do this together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 That's
Okay.
lovely. Yeah. And then some of the areas right now are being fixed. So it's changed again since this picture. I was there a few months ago. This area has now been opened up again. I thought this was lovely because you've got the Santiago de Compostela. And I think what's the other?
And
Is
Susan,
it Jasper?
Yeah. Go one picture back because I want to say something. This is new, this sign. It shows where Hildegard's women's cell was, and that's a new research. There are two places. This is the later one. The first one was at the Romanesque church where the monks' cemetery is, and this is the one where she actually lived in the end before she moved to Bingen. It's a women's cell. It's not with,
Nice to know.
It's historic research, and that's why there's a new sign. There was a small church, and then there was a back houses behind it, and then you go up to the place where the labyrinth is. Next time you're there, we'll film that. We didn't know it in 2019. That's new research. We always wondered where the women's cell was. Yeah.
It's to the left when you're going up on the hill, right?
Before when you're going uphill, it's immediately to the left, and then it's a little bit. Yeah.
So I think I took pictures actually during so I walked I came off the path. I walked the entire Hildegard Way, and it was not 135 kilometers. I walked 200 kilometers in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And walked the whole path by myself. Yeah. Which was a wonderful experience, but also challenging, very challenging. So I really like this picture too, though, Annette, because I see the shell from the Santiago de Compostela, right, on the ground.
It's where the Hildegard Way and the Jacob's Way cross each other. They meet each other at the DC Bodenberg.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what
crossing
it is.
Point.
Thank you. I didn't know anymore what it was. And then here's your official entrance into the St. Nicholas Abbey, where this building was finished in 1130, 1120. Help me. I don't know. I'm not good with dates.
It's not very old. Yeah. The new signs.
And this is from the back where you can see the people kind of peeking behind the trees. I have a closer one up here. And then this was Ute's stage.
Yeah.
And then I have a small, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share again, where Ute is, and Michael is, I think, walks through the picture towards the end, Michael. just to give you a small impression. Here's Michael behind her.
Yeah, we've been working on an edit from the evening, and it just to add to the beauty of it, it was at sunset. So it starts light, bright. This is at the beginning, and then by the time we're done, it's pitch dark up there.
And the full moon came up over the hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
So right at sunset, it was amazing. The bats came out, and she's singing, and it's sunset, and there are bats flying everywhere, and they were there for about 5 minutes, and then the bats disappeared, and then the moon started to come up.
oh
It
wow.
was so cool. It was just, I mean, I have goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was like my favorite part of the week as far as an event, of course, goes, because it was just such a nice combination of, because I fell in love with Hildegard through her music. For me, it was really special to have this. I don't know that it ever will be repeated, so I treasure this memory. And I'm so glad you guys were there to film it in that case.
Just spectacular. It was so beautiful. And the ladies in our group, we had taken them to Dizzy Bodenberg the day before. So we had been there during the day, and we were pretty much the only ones up there. And then we went up there, you know, the next evening in the concert, and there's 200 people there. And I think they were just blown away. It was, that was absolutely a highlight. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, for most of them. That was the feedback. For most of them, it was a highlight of the whole Hildegard week, the concert. Yeah.
Well, then, of course, here
Susan
I
agrees. Oh, yes, Susan agrees.
Oh, right.
You agree, Susan, it was a highlight, was it? Okay.
Susan and I stayed at the same place, so we hung out quite a bit. So she's in a couple of my pictures. And here you can see that it's getting darker. I cannot, my pictures do not do it justice. I hope, Michael, that you are better at capturing the sentiment of that evening. It was just amazing. And the thank you words at
That
the
was a
end.
farewell.
Yes, that's the farewell. Yeah, it was just, and here's the stage at the end in case nobody got that picture. I have it, Michael, you can use it. I just thought it was just such a beautiful location. It was really amazing. Okay, and then we, the next morning, start with a very, very fun ceremony, I thought. And we, which was unfortunately moved. I have not yet been to the Paulus Capella. So I'm looking forward next time maybe to going inside. But we held a worship ceremony in which everybody participated. I have some action shots. This was our translation of the Latin and German that we shared. Annette did the opening. And then we had all the people in a big, wide area, which was really beautiful. We had Susan speaking. We had Danae speaking. And then, Annette, can you describe what we did the morning, the sun greeting exercise?
Yeah, it was O Virtu Sapientia. It's a song of Hildegard, praising wisdom, and with three movement up heaven and to the earth and in all our relations. And we did a movement to that. I think the topic of the liturgy was Sapientia, which is, of course, this poem also about. And what was it? Sapientia and I forgot now. But that was one important. Sapientia. Do you have the leaflet? Yes.
I don't know. Not make
Sapientia
it
and Caritas. Yes.
Caritas.
And Caritas. So Sapientia, wisdom, and Caritas is love. And this vision you see there is showing Caritas, divine love. And that was some connection of it. And what we did then after this poem or song of Hildegard was an exercise where we talked about the virtues and the vices, and we did an exercise where everyone chatted through some of this. But you don't have a picture now. It's all the movement. My God,
yeah, these are all the movements. Hold your horses.
Yeah.
Coming. You're too fast
yeah, you
for
see,
me.
You see. Yeah, I was faster. You know, you get me. So
I
Zorn,
did.
anger, And I had all the vices on that Hildegard mentions on the floor, and then everyone had to get up and choose one, which is his kind of bad habit or whatever. To choose
Michael
one.
and I actually stood at the same one, didn't we, Michael?
We did. I remember.
Can you remember
Which one?
what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was a little surprised at whatever I was standing at. I think you were too, right?
Yes.
It was like greed. I think it was
Something
like
weird. Yeah.
yeah.
It was like this is
greed.
what I think is the supreme evil in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe it was adverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where
It
did
was
you
just
stand, Heather?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe it was doubt. I
Do you remember,
That was
Susan, where you were standing?
Was there one for anger?
Yes.
I think, yeah, that's where I was.
I can imagine. And then we continued the ceremony. Heike and Shannon did a wonderful back and forth reading of the German and Latin, correct? Of the poem, Annette?
Yeah.
And then in the end,
you know.
Silke sang. Unfortunately, I don't have a recording of Silke singing. I missed it. Sometimes it's hard to.
Bis hoch zu den Sternen. She composed some Hildegard works herself.
that
She had
one.
her own song.
Is that the one she was singing? Because
Von der Tiefe bis hoch zu den Sternen, because she was singing this yesterday for us at the DC Bodenberg yesterday for a pilgrimage hour.
So for
Von der
my
Tiefe bis hoch, Caritas abundat in the end, it says. Caritas.
Yeah, hold on, I have it.
abundat.
Hold on, I have it for you in that case, because when I was on my pilgrimage, I asked her to sing it for me. So you guys are lucky. I have a personal version where she has the birds singing in the background. She goes outside in her home and then has the birds singing in the background. So.
Von der Tiefe bis hoch zu den Sternen überflutet die Liebe das All. Sie ist liebend zugetan allem, da dem König, dem Höchsten, sie den Friedenskuss gab. Caritas abundat, Caritas abundat in omnia.
I was so fortunate to walk my pilgrimage.
That you did a record.
I love the sound of her voice. She has that je ne sais quoi. She has a wonderful voice. So then we go to the workshop part again, and we were very fortunate in 2024 to have with us Sarah Sartini, who has self-published one of the most beautiful books and interesting for me as a non-academic to get entry into Hildegard, because she looks at the imagery. I think Annette, you can probably speak more now to the background of
just to say one important thing. It's also on this leaflet. Her name is Sara Salvadori. You got the name wrong.
Oh, it's wrong on the.
Yeah, it's on the. If you see to the left, you look to the left, you see Sara Salvadori, like Salvator.
I will change it.
And she did an interpretation, a very interesting interpretation of the Liber Scivias and now also of the Liber Divinorum Operum, a very unique work which she introduced to us.
So I have.
And she had a model of what she, Yeah.
I don't know if Michael and Heather had a chance to attend this workshop, but it was also very popular amongst
I'm up there in the front row between Annette. I mean, Annette, you see Annette.
Oh, there you are. Yes, I see you right next to Danae. Yep.
Those are all of our ladies there. Yes.
That's our group too. That was
Heather,
amazing.
were you there too?
It was so good. It was so good.
It
You
was
took
such,
your whole group there, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You took your whole group there, yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
so I have so what she did was to take the actual imagery and she projected it with shades, and she was explaining to us how the different translations come across. And it was just amazing to see her have it all come to life as a participant. I thought this was amazing too, that Hildegard was doing this way before a more famous man came along and shared that with us, of course. And she's just such a delightful host. She speaks very softly, so everybody got very quiet, which was nice in the presentation as well. And she just is so passionate about what she does that I had a wonderful time. Oh, and I got to take this great shot of Uta because I thought she was looking amazing. She was there as well. And these are just everybody then peppering her with questions at the end of the presentation. So it was amazing. And I took this picture of the two of you together during lunch when she signed my
nice
book.
pictures. I like your pictures. Joan, I like your pictures.
Thank you. Aim to please. And then this is Henry's workshop, which, as you can see, was not well attended, which I was sad because it really was interesting. As a person who fell in love with Hildegard through her music, he had some very good explanation as to why the music notations are the way they are. He took it back to medieval time, to the 10th and 11th centuries, and what was usual at the time. He also transposed it into what was the known document, which was this one, Wiesbaden Codex. That's what it was. And so his theory is that the singing is not as we do these days as Gregorian as it sounds, women Gregorian, but that it's a little bit more modulated, which is what I hear Uta doing. And I don't know how we would be, but he also made the connection between the various tones and then the representations of what would be going on in the music. So I enjoyed his workshop. Really did. He was very interesting.
That you say this. Because we invited Ash, Dane, and Henry again for the next conference, and then we'll make more advertising because that sounded really interesting.
It was very interesting, and you heard his singing. He's a good singer. He really knows what he's talking about. And then we went on to the evening. So we are talking Sunday evening, which was another big event. Annette, I think, can speak more to the history of this place, the Centrum St. Hildegard. I don't think you were there, Michael and Heather. You had left by that time.
I believe that Michael was there with a couple from our group, but we didn't have the entire group there.
That's what it was. Okay.
I know that we had a walk that afternoon. So we were there for the events in the morning, and then we walked, and then we came back, and so a few people did go to that reception.
Yep. So we had Michael Pelke, Louise von Racknitz, Nico Gens, Dr. Geisthart's sister Guchar, and Mrs. Heimfahrt. I did not get to attend this lecture because I was making 180 sandwiches with Hildegard herbal.
It was not a lecture.
Yeah. So
it was like a podium. It was like a podium with people from the different places along the Hildegard Way to say what is happening on the Hildegard Way at these different places, and to get people together because they don't know from each other that something is going on in Niederhosenbach or what is going on in Bingen. People from the Disiboden, they all only look at their own place. So everyone talked a little about this, and it was interesting, I think. Yeah.
Because Meckenbach is
We want to
being
live-
added, right? to
Meckenbach,
the-
actually, Linda Heimfahrt was not there because there will be a new pilgrimage center built up in Meckenbach, a little bit south of Kirn, and that will be new. It will also lead the Hildegard Way along a southern part, which is new, but they have a church which is from the year 1000, which was there in Hildegard's time, a Romanesque church, and an old parish home, which now turns into a pilgrimage center, and therefore Meckenbach will be important in the future.
Nice.
So next time you're here, you should go there. They will open next year, the Hildegard, their pilgrimage center, where you can stay overnight also.
That would be nice because that was one of my challenges, was getting all my evenings, my hotels together. What I did do was I made an overview of, I think that's Michael and his group eating dinner. I made an overview of just people that were speaking to each other and what we had for dinner, which I thought it was delicious. I did not think that I would like the Galgant as much as I do, or the Bertram. It was an eye opener to enjoy. And then we had a thank you moment of everybody being just honored for a minute to say thank you for doing all this work. So of course I turned around and took a couple of pictures of everybody. We hand washed all the dishes from that evening. And then of course I took shots of everybody helping clean up. So I have Elizabeth and I have Petra and I have Regina, who cooked all the soups, and I wanted to get her recipes.
Roswitha.
And Silke, Roswitha, thank you. I keep calling her Regina. It's Roswitha.
No,
I actually ran into
please,
her.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I ran into her during my pilgrimage, and she signed my book for me. So it was very nice to see everybody. And then we said our goodbyes to it was a really lovely way to close the evening. So now we are back to our Monday morning for the last full day of events. And I started off in German because I thought it was interesting to learn more about Hildegard and her vision on different herbs and healing methods through food. So I attended Bernd's workshop. It's very interesting to find out. I still need to understand why some are cold and why some are hot. I don't know if somebody can speak to that. No? Melissa, do you know anything about her food visions?
I think that I read that there's very traditional Chinese medicine, and a lot of what Hildegard, of course, they didn't know each other at the time, but it aligns with each other, and it's very interesting how that happened. But yeah, it's a fascinating. I can't really explain it in a small sentence, but yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Thank you. Yeah,
Something
I was. Go ahead. Sorry,
with the
Annette.
4 humors teaching, which she has a 4 humor and 4 temperaments and 4 characters, and they're all connected to this hot and cold. I also it's not my topic to explain it, but it is a basic thing in Hildegard's teaching, the 4 humors or temperaments, 4 Säftelehre, 4 Temperamentenlehre, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I would want to know a little bit more about it also.
Yeah, me too, which is why I attended. Yeah.
Hildegard always says about everything, it's hot, it's more hot or cold. And she always says that when she describes all the plants and everything. Yeah, it's very important somehow. Bernd knows that better.
And then we move on to the evening where Annette became ill, unfortunately, during this last day. She got the flu.
I was completely sick the night, I have to say. And Susan stepped in.
Yeah. So Annette, this is everything you missed from that night.
Yeah.
I have some pictures of what we were doing. We decided to put down a hat and ask for donations. That was one of our ways in which we were trying to solve some of our issues as far as getting people to help out. Here's what the stage looked like, Annette. You probably are familiar with.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
And then here we have Susan and Jutta starting off with their play. And I have a small segment to share.
Mm. It's frozen for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not for me. Ah, that must be your internet, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not frozen. Is it frozen for anyone else?
We're good.
Okay.
No.
So you
No,
can
it's frozen.
So I
When
can
you
always
pause.
share this movie with you, Annette. I can always send it directly to
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. And then she also played the violin, as you're aware. And I also have a small segment of that. This is the end of the play.
Suzanne in the front. See her hair.
Mm.
So it was lovely. We had a really nice conclusion. Bernd pulled us onto the stage and had a lovely short speech for everyone, including Volkart, which I thought was very nice because he did so much work.
Mm.
And I'm glad that he took the time out to thank him as well. And yes, me and Silke and Elizabeth are up there as well. Petra should have been up there too, but I think she was not there that day. And we got a lovely bottle of wine that I drank a couple of months ago. It was good. Yeah, so that was very, very sweet. And then we had a lovely,
Great fun.
it
It
was
was great fun
Wasn't
doing
it,
that.
Susan?
I had to take a lot of time on Monday because we were in rehearsal for it, and Jutta had to set up the lights, had to test the sound, get it all sorted out that way. So it was quite an experience for me in working with a professional actor and seeing how the staging was arranged and so on. And it really was great fun.
I think you did a lovely job considering you were like right there, that minute, that moment you had to do this. And
But I
yeah,
think I'd already seen the text because I was asked the day before to do some polishing on the text. I remember
okay.
I had to go off to the side and sit and kind of work on the text for a while, and that was Sunday.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't brand, I thought it was
It wasn't
brand
completely new, no.
Great job, because I would have been so nervous to have to do that. But yeah, it was a lovely play and I enjoyed it so much. And you learn something new every single time somebody does an interpretation on Hildegard. Yeah. And unfortunately, this was closed off by a lovely, did we have like snacks and some small foods, and everybody got to walk around, but I got another Volkart picture. So I have a couple that I didn't publish all of them. And another Heidi came by and introduced herself to me. I have this wonderful shot of Elizabeth and Susan and Michael, Heather, and Silke. I managed to take a very nice shot of, and then our final picture was just the board with all the announcements and the flowers, that's what we were doing. And then we're down to our very last day, if you guys can still bear with me, because now we go to the place where her relics are being kept in Eibingen and Rudersheim. So we're on the bus and we're on the way. I was, Michael was, and Heather were kind enough to ask me to join them, which was a great experience. I had never been on the transport boat in a bus. So of course I'm taking pictures while I'm in the bus doing this, which was great fun. And to see Germany, here's just some shots of what Rudersheim looks like when you're on the way going up to the St. Hildegard Abbey, which is where we're arriving right now. And of course, I'm getting artistic because I want to also take a nice shot of the director as he's working on his shots. So I WhatsApp that picture over to you, Michael.
Thank you.
Of course, the famous Hildegard statue that you probably saw. And then inside the church, which is just lovely. And I have two of the Shannon and Ashlyn, who's a divinity master's student who was visiting, and I'm still in touch with. I'm hoping that she can join us again in 2026. And I got very lucky, and the weather changed and did something absolutely amazing, and it gave me a chance to take this picture. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but the clouds were just amazing. And it's like the sky opened up and there was just this light coming down. I think I took like 6 shots, but I love this one the best. And then in order to be on time, do you remember this, Heather? We ended up going through the vines.
Yes, and I was supposed to have given this very heartfelt speech. I was gathering the group in the Rose Garden, and we're all holding hands, and the guy comes out with the lawnmower. And so it's like, okay, well, we'll just wait a minute. We'll just wait for the lawnmower to finish. And he finished and he walked away, and then this whole bus of Japanese tourists got off. And it's just like, great, I'm not going to be able to give my final speech. So I think we all sort of took a moment, walked around the chapel, and then we went down through the vineyards.
You sometimes it is what it is. Yeah.
So, yeah, but there was that moment where the clouds broke through and it was gorgeous. And I just thought, this is the moment. And the lawnmower started.
Oh.
But it was a lovely walk down to the pilgrimage church. That was very sweet.
It was. It's a beautiful church. This is an overview of where you guys were sitting as I'm coming down those final last steps. Here's the program.
And guys, hopefully, Annette, you can join us next year or this year. I think you were still recovering from your sickness.
Yes. No, that day I was completely over, but I will. And this time we'll start. Oh, yes, you mean this year, Michael? Let's talk about that. I mean, next year we'll start with the Hildegard Day, and then the week only comes afterwards. Yes, so that's a different situation.
Yeah. So this is just an overview of the outside ceremony with different speakers, different sisters. I do have about a minute if you guys have enough patience. It's in German, but she does speak to women and to sisters and brothers, and I thought it was interesting. So let me share this with you.
he's a Protestant minister talking there. Yeah.
And the gold relic box that you see, what is it? Her shoulder contain Hildegard's shoulder or elbow?
The main part of her body, but not all.
So here they bring it, I think, back into the church. I thought they also, because they come down the stairs in order to have the procession, and then we all file behind it, and we end up walking through the village. Here's your group that were coming with me, and we just end up walking through Rüdesheim. And then there was also an opportunity to eat some lunch on the side and talk to different people. Again, lovely soup and an opportunity to speak to the sisters that are attending. These were some of my views of my walk going down. And then we file back on the bus and we're on our way out. And this was just a little aside because we're the four little kids. But I took this picture of the four of us because I was actually trying to mirror this one, guys. I found it.
Oh, that's true. That was in 2012, I think. So,
Yes,
for the first international conference.
Yes, I think it might have been. Yes.
We look so young.
Oh, we are really younger. We are looking younger. Oh my God.
I know.
That's beautiful.
That's a great shot, Jone.
Yes, it was this one and that one.
Yeah.
I have lots of pictures from 2012, as Annette knows.
Yeah.
Through the years.
I'm
Probably
still
do that.
wearing that
really
red
didn't.
coat.
I'm still wearing that
I will
brown
remember
coat.
that.
Okay, so that was the end of it. Thank you so much for being so patient.
Very nice pictures, Jone. Really very nice pictures.
Oh, thank you. Let me
Lovely memories.
stop
Thanks so much.
sharing.
We did so much in such a short period of time. It's sort of all, blends over into each other, but this was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was lovely too. It was more work than what I anticipated because I had to take all the pictures, put them in a PowerPoint presentation, and then from the PowerPoint presentation, take them to upload them up on Microsoft Teams. And I was having a hissy fit. I worked until like 4 o'clock this afternoon to get it
Oh my.
done.
Well, thank you for all your work.
I was like, stop.
Yeah.
Why is this not? Okay, so how do I stop recording?
Yeah. Hey, Jone, it was really fun to see your perspective. 'Cause
Thank you.
Yeah, and some of your shots are really nice. So good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you. I'm always open for constructive criticism. I know that there's a thing to taking pictures, and I'm always trying to improve how I do it.
I think some are snapshots, but some of the people you photographed really, you looked at them nicely and did a good picture. I mean, of people that is positive. Yeah. No, I liked some of that very much. I think we should have some of the on the website also, which we so far don't have. But also, just think about it, really great, because we don't have pictures of the Hildegard Week on the website, which we should.
No, but the problem is we have to get
Great.
everybody's consent, and so
Yeah.
Well, if you photograph into an audience and people from behind and just the front people, you can ask me or who's on this whether they agree to that, and I agree to that. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it.
yeah,
This
I'm going
tricky,
to
stupid thing.
I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, I love your cat, Susan. Mine is, I think she's up. No, she's not. She's running around here somewhere. But I'm going to stop the recording so we can